Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU, the mighty mix spammer. Boy did I have a busy week, yes I did indeed. And that's mainly the reason why I wasn't able to make as many videos as I would like to in the past week, because I was simply unable to. Thank goodness I did have those backups that I was able to post in the form of Dead Space 3 videos and the Civilization video, because otherwise I would be in a deep trouble not being able to put up any content. Let us start a battle in fact before we talk about anything else, because you know what better way to start a videocast than with a battle in which my units are most likely going to die. I mean, I only have a couple of Simics and Tectonics. They all have no life whatsoever, and the enemy wasn't even supposed to attack me, because, you know, in this stand he already did attack me with his fleet, but because I loaded up the game, you know, he could just, you know, attack again, because that's unfortunately how Endless Space works. I'm not sure if it is intended or not. do not really care, because either way, doesn't really matter, I'm going to lose my fleet. So anyway, let's try and do as much damage as I can. My ships are obviously not going to survive for long, so just try and focus on doing as much damage as possible, because there is no way I'm getting out of this battle alive. So let's enter the manual mode, and let me talk a little bit more off topic. Because, you know, over the weekdays I was busy, but what about the weekend? Well, yesterday was the Saturday, and I was on a meeting of Polish Sowons. Sowon is, by the way, a name for a fan of Girls' Generation, also known as, you know, Sonia Shide, and I'm a huge fan of Girls' Generation, and I was able to meet a couple of other people that, you know, are fans just like I am, and this was pretty awesome. And as you might imagine, it lasted for about an entire day, this meeting, so I was obviously unable to make any videos yesterday, and today, I don't know, it was a little bit lazy day, I guess. Only now I'm making this videocast where it's really late at night, and I will unfortunately be unable to upload this videocast by today. You'll only see it tomorrow morning, I assume. So that's why you didn't see this videocast yesterday, right? Because I was unable to upload it in time. I mean, maybe something will happen, my internet will like jump up in its effectiveness and you will see this videocast today, but you know, that's important. Things like this do not happen. Anyway, the enemy countered me in medium range phase, which is a little bit unfortunate, and he's tearing my ships apart. You know what, if I survive till melee phase, why don't we, you know, repair the damage so that we can annoy the enemy for a little bit longer. In fact, that's what I should have done in the medium range phase, since I did somehow survive the long range, so I should have assumed that then I could go for another PANCZASU to survive for like one another phase, but doesn't really matter. On the bright side, I was able to deal a significant portion of damage to this Imperator, almost taking it out, which was highly surprising. I guess that's because for some magical reason my bombers and fighters respawned. Either that, or I actually had those bombers to begin with, which is a possibility that I forgot I didn't lose them. Whatever, doesn't really matter. What does matter, however, is that I can end my turn now and see how things turn out to be. I did make a bunch of volcanics, which, just to remind you, are my expansion ships, and I'm going to start colonizing like crazy because I'm the Harmony in late game, and I can do just that without any, you know, repercussions of any description, because I'm this awesome. Anyway, speaking of awesomeness and things that are not quite as awesome, I have a random event, so yeah. Oh, actually that's, yeah. My faction only, endless map artifact discovered, doesn't matter whatsoever. For one turn I get double the side radius. Yay! That's totally useful. No, that's not useful whatsoever. Anyway, I might sound like my voice is a little bit nosy, I'm sorry for this. I don't know why this is, I don't have a running nose. Well, apparently I do have a running nose. I didn't have it a second ago though, so I don't know what is happening over there with that. Anyway, the pirates didn't attack me actually, that's very surprising because usually pirates attack a player on sight. So I guess they think that I have a huge advantage over them, but then again I look at my army and I'm like, nah, I'm half dead. They could wipe me out very easily, especially since they are using a lot of beams, and I'm not too heavy on shields. In fact, some of my ships do not even have shield whatsoever, any shielding that is. So I'm really surprised by that. Anyway, let's go for defensive formation so that maybe then my Civics that actually do have shields will guard my other ships from damage. Then again, I think my Civics actually have more defense overall than my Civics, so let's just go for default formation and do not differentiate my ships in any other ways. As for targeting, let's go for spread fire. Pirates, keep in mind they never use any defenses, so I can just spread my fire and kill all of them. I might die in the process, but you know what, doesn't really matter. Okay, let's start with the good old card, Weapon Overclock at the, you know, entering this battle so that we can deal maximum amount of damage. Maybe kill all the pirates in a single go and then repair any damage we will undoubtedly going to take, and hope that my fleet mostly survives, or at least partially survives, so that I can continue exploring those systems like Primus and ISO for pirates. And because obviously I do want to colonize them. I'm mostly looking at ISA. I mean, yeah, it is a system that I deserve to have. Sadly, it looks like the Sophos might have an influence radius over it, and this would be most unfortunate because this would actually disallow me to capture the system. Unless I were, you know, actually at war with them. Actually, even then, I'm not sure if this would actually allow me to colonize the system. That's annoying. Well, I can just hope that somebody wipes out Sophos as quickly as possible, because otherwise I'll never ever be able to actually make anything that uses titanium, which would be most unfortunate. You can trust me on this one. Anyway, let's see how much damage I'll be able to deal to the pirate ships, and if I counter them or not. If they counter me or not, it's oh, yep! I countered them, it's going to be a devastation imminent. Yeah, one pirate ship goes down, and all the others are going to follow soon enough. I mean, there's just nothing they can do when I counter them so severely, especially since I am using kinetics that are optimized. Actually, they are optimized for medium range, not long range as I thought. Still enough, they are very, very efficient, and with the weapon overclock countering the enemy, I get a lot of accuracy. On melee weapons, that doesn't really count, but my kinetics are more efficient, which is always so very important. I was supposed to repair some of the damage I have taken in this battle. Doesn't look like it was actually the case. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Most of my fleet is still, well, I wanted to say intact, but this would be a lie, wouldn't it? Well, it is mostly alive, that's what matters, I guess. I could try to capture Bastardio, it would take me 9999999 turns, in other words, an infinite amount of turns, because, you know, that's how we roll. So let's just go on a sweeping sweep and continue searching for pirates, and then... What are those guys doing here? Apparently there's a big Horatio fleet just running around my backyard and doing random stuff. What on earth are they doing here? I have no idea. I just hope that they die out of boredom or something. Anyway, a lot of things have been constructed, and Zenith has been cleansed of corruption. That is the dust that makes me a very, very happy person. Let's see what fleet awaits my orders. There's a volcanic on Curse. I did tell this volcanic to actually only go to Curse and not go anywhere else. I do want to send him to Galtur and Iso and Primus, but you know, I never know if those systems are occupied by pirates or not. Besides, I do have two volcanics over here that are waiting for orders because they are supposed to go there and colonize those systems. Hamdy. I mean, I could just send this guy to Feia, pray that there are no pirates over there, and that I can get there before, you know, Horatio get there and whatnot, you know, by going on an intergalactic travel, but that's really inefficient. I think I'm just going to tell this guy to either stay here or colonize the system straight away. Currency is not a really good system, it's not too bad either, because you keep in mind I'll have no penalties for colonizing it soon enough. But honestly, I mean, those two ships, they are going to go to Iso and Galtor. So this ship, I guess, is going to go to Stardust. I do not need to colonize it straight away, because it is in my area of influence, the pirates cannot spawn in here anyway. But I don't know. I think I'll just send this colonization ship to Zeteria, and this way I will not have to make my decision just yet. If I will want to, then I will be able to colonize Stadios or Freya. It depends if those pirates move or not. If they start moving to Zeteria, well, it will obviously be bad, because I'll have to deal with them before they do anything damaging to me. But also this will mean that they will free up a passageway for my ships to go to Feia or any other place. Which would be, you know, kind of positive, wouldn't it? Anyway, some kind of ship has been made on Doltuno. Yet another volcanic. Wow, I forgot I made so many of them. Okay, let's actually create this guy and send him over to Tsing, see if I can colonize it. Even if it is in my enemy's influence area. Yes, I can. Apparently, you can only not colonize systems if it is in the influence area of your allies, friends, or people that you are at cold war with. When you're at war, you know, everything you wanna do, you can do, which is nice. Okay, let's colonize the huge desert because it's the most colonizable planet we can find over here. It actually does produce some food by itself, which is by all means amazing. Let's start by going for, obviously, cleansing of the system, because no matter what, it always takes the same amount of time. Apparently it only takes 2 tests, even though it's supposed to take 3. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Let's cleanse the system first so that it doesn't produce any disharmony penalty for my entire empire, because this would be damaging, and I could care less if this planet is slightly less efficient during the time of the cleansing. I really could care less. Anyway, after that, let's go for silic source and heavy acid refineries. In fact, heavy acid refineries are, in my honest opinion, a little bit more important, because, you know, I'll get some food anyway, as more partially because of the contamination barriers. They will convert this dust into food, so I have an established food production anyway, but industry, that's something I'll be lacking, so I need this indeed. Okay, for some weird reason, the Horatio didn't attack and destroy my invasion ships on Charm. Instead, they kind of retreated somewhere. I have no idea what they are planning or what they are thinking they did. It's just like, yeah, what? Yeah, they did retreat to Slisso. No idea what they're planning. No idea. It was just a dump move. They could have destroyed my fleet and then retreated. But instead they would just dump, and very polite not destroying my fleet. So, you know, I really shouldn't complain, should I? Anyway, let's send those 2 volcanics, the water and the Pollux. You know, no reason to not cleanse those systems, right? I mean, after I cleanse them, I'll have no penalties whatsoever. So just continue colonizing. That is the power that the Harmony holds in late game. Early and mid game, they're extraordinarily vulnerable because they have barely any capabilities to make anything whatsoever. But once you do get into this late game, then you can just snowball out of the ordinary mind of a single normal person and steamroll any opponent you can imagine. You are just this unstoppable beast of a machine that can do anything it wants. You can expand as much as you want and have no penalties for it. Whilst anybody else has to worry about approval or whatnot. You don't have to. And that's the beauty of Harmony in late game. Anyway, I should rename some of my newly colonized systems, so let's do just that. You, I'm going to call a loner, because this is a lonely system with only a single planet and whatnot. It is kind of pathetic in fact, but don't tell the system that, because it would be very, very sad indeed, because, you know, it isn't nice to tell people that they are loners and whatnot. I guess maybe it is. It doesn't really sound like a very bad word. You just say you're going to be the omitted one, because that's exactly what happened to the system. I omitted it. And let's yet again start by cleansing the system, then exploit the planet, then go for more industry. And we'll go from there. As for Sing, you know what, I think that this is almost a good name, but it does need to be changed for Ding. Why? I don't know, it just kinda sounded right. So we've got a Ding system, which is cute and whatnot. Okay, those 2 volcanics just sit here. There's no real reason to just pop them out of the shell. I will send them to Iso and Galtur as soon as I can, after I found out that the route is indeed clear and not infested by those horrible pirates. Because this would be bad, wouldn't it? Okay, in terms of research, I still have stuff queued up, so that's good. What kind of meter am I going for? Well, I'm mostly making food, so I guess that's good, because that's exactly what I need on most of my systems anyway. There's only one system that is in fact maxed out. Wait, no, it's not maxed out, it just, you know, is making volcanics. So, yeah, by all means, I should be making as much food as humanly possible. Those 5% is just here to, you know, kinda make sure that at least I do gain some science, so that at some point in time I will get some kind of scientific discovery, but that's obviously not on the top of my agenda. Right now, what is most important for me is just making it this ginormous, powerful empire that spreads across all of those systems, and then I'll actually be able to turn it into a powerhouse in other areas as well, not only just, you know, population and reach. Which would be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, already in terms of military, I know that, well, now my military is crippled, so I might no longer be as powerful as I used to be, but in the past I was, in fact, one of the most powerful nations in the entire galaxy. The only 2 more powerful were obviously the Cravers, who have more powerful fleet than the entire galaxy, you know, added up. And I think the Solars as well, who are like over here, and we don't know anything about them, don't care about them. We are at war with them, but that's just kinda, you know, a side effect more so than anything else. Anyway, let's finish the movement of all my fleets that actually have some movement left, because that's always important. Now, the Horatio attacked me. One of them at Jinsen, that's not a problem. They're in fact going to lose a hero because they thought that attacking me with a seer is a smart idea. Spoilers, it is not, because I can just go for defensive formation, then weapon overclock because why not, and repair any damage that I might take. Though at this point in time I doubt I'll take any. And why did I go for manual? I have no idea, because it is definitely not necessary. It is just going to be a slaughterhouse. But you know what, I guess we all enjoy watching a little bit of a slaughter every now and then, don't we? Anyway, I guess it is a good moment for me to drink a little bit of water. Yeah, I know it's not juice, it's not ginseng. I'm sorry, I have to apologize. Yeah, I mean, excuse me for this, because I didn't take them with me. I was just really focused on making this videocast while I can, because otherwise I would forget about it again, and you know, it would be all awkward and horrible. So let me drink it. Also, the enemy is retreating, I guess, because he's not firing at me whatsoever. That's a little bit sad. Yeah, he did retreat. Whatever, he is kinda on fire and smoking, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, off-topic stuff. It's actually not the best, you know, moment to talk about off-topic stuff, because the enemy continues to attack me, and this time with Imperators this could be bad. Okay, let's start with Nosebreaker and with defensive formation. Now, a sufficiently built tank can in fact withstand the firepower of several fleets that could otherwise be just overwhelming. I mean, I was playing off camera in a single player as Chantry, which are my weakest faction ever created. They have really weak military, but I was able to create very beefy tanks with them that were dreadnoughts with just only defense and armor equipment, with also quite a bit of you know, repair assistance, and a single ship was just able to withstand the firepower of several fleets that continued to attack them, and every time that did, this ship would just repair itself back to normal in the next stand. It was so beautiful, you have no idea. Anyway, for this battle, I think I'm not in fact even going to bother with weapon overclock. I'm basically not going to be able to do any damage to the enemy anyway. So let's start by going for magnetic field to increase the effectiveness of my deflectors, and in such way I will lower the damage that the enemy will deal to me substantially. But the enemy is in fact going for melee range, so he'll barely do anything. So I think short circuit is a better bet, because not only it will lower the enemy's accuracy, but also on the off chance I block the enemy, it will increase my chance to hit the enemy, because, you know, I am using a long range weapon. Actually, it is going to increase my chance to hit the enemy anyway. It doesn't have to counter the enemy. It's just if I counter the enemy, I'll be even more efficient. So let's hope that this happens. Let's hope it happens. Also, I do have some fighters and a bomber that could deal some damage to those enemy ships, but fear not. I mean, don't be mistaken. I'll not be able to deal too much damage anyway, because, you know, just a single bomber is not too efficient, and fighters, they are really not designed to destroy those big dreadnoughts. Trust me on this one. Anyway, enemy opened up by going for short circuit. Well, that's understandable. I will come out on top with this, however, because I do have long range weapons that do benefit from short circuit, while the enemy just lowers my accuracy. So, in the grand scheme of things, it turned out to be better for me than for the enemy. Still though, could be worse, could be better. And also, the enemy does have some of his bombers. He in fact has a lot of bombers, and some fighters that are engaging my own fighters. So I just hope that I win the fighter war, because then I will be able to attack the enemy bombers, and my own bombers will remain safe. If, however, I lose the fighter war, then, you know, my single lonely bomber will be destroyed soon enough, and the enemy bombers will be able to just continuously damage my ships without any kind of payback, which would be bad, wouldn't it? Anyway, I can see my fighters nearing the enemy dreadnoughts. I guess I did win the fighter battle, maybe? But it's difficult to tell. Yeah, I did win the fighter battle. The only enemy small ships that I can see left are in fact the bombers, and who cares about the bombers? I mean, my ship is going to be destroyed anyway. You can see it taking critical damage and just being exploded into the tiny little pieces. But what matters is that I dealt some kind of damage to the enemy. Not a lot, actually. That didn't deal any damage whatsoever. That was kind of bad. Yeah, maybe at least I destroyed their fighters. So I know I did, in fact. I mean, I should have destroyed the enemy fighters, if that's what I've seen. So let's see, this guy, yeah, he lost a fighter, he lost a bomber as well. He lost a fighter, and this guy didn't lose anything. And now the enemy is opening Mrs. Fartlad, which is suboptimal, but that's just a scout, so he's not doing much. Also, the rest of his fleet is just converting into like a short of time. I guess he will try to actually destroy my invasion fleet But even though he will try to do so, it doesn't matter all that much because I have too much firepower with my remaining fleets to just not be able to capture Tram. I will capture Tram in the next turn, no matter what happens. I mean, the enemy did destroy one of my big pew-pew from space. Doesn't matter. Actually, it does. He bought his system on another turn. That's annoying. Well, I could just send my ships back, right back to Tram, so that next turn I actually still will be a turn away from capturing the system. That's a little bit annoying, but you know, what can I do? Nothing really. Okay. Those fake mix, I actually feel like, yeah, actually, that's good. They should go to Triumph. That's, in fact, very important that they do. And look at those Croatian bastards! Just like the bastards they are, they captured Bastardio with their fleet. That actually wasn't really equipped to capture systems, so I have no idea how they did that. But whatever, let's not hate. I think, in fact, I do feel a little bit like hating, but hello! Somehow lost a little bit of their population on Emma, and now they don't have quite as much reach as they used to, so that's very beneficial. And as soon as I clear those pirates out, I will in fact be able to send my volcanics to grab the ISO, which would be very, very helpful indeed. Anyway, let's start colonize the area, one of my volcanics, now that I can. What do I want? Transvine? Extra ship experience per transfer and empire, that's very nice. I do have Antimatter already, so I don't care about this one, so yeah, let's colonize the medium desert. And yet again, colonize the system ASAP, because that's literally the most important thing I can and need to do. Also, I just realized that the next thing I should do, in fact, is the Planetary Institute, because it's just a very nice package of food, industry, and also science as well. As for dust, we don't care about dust, but since the system will be cleansed, this dust will essentially be food and science. So yet again, just pure benefits and no reason not to go for the Planetary Institute. And I was just being dumb for not going on for it on the other systems. Anyway, how am I going to call you? That's, I think, very simple. I'm not sure if that's how Arrakis was really spelled. I may remember this wrongly, but let's pretend like it's Arrakis. Just cause. Anyway, I think that's fair to say that I'm ready to end my turn. Yeah, not much else needs to happen. I think everything is queued up, everything is nice. My next research discovery will come up in like an age or something, but that doesn't really matter. In fact, you know what? I think I could use a bigger fleet. So my mass production system right now is prototype, but I still wanted to continue being maxed out on population. So my second most production system, which already has quite a nice percentage of population, is Though to Know. So I think I'm going to use Though to Know to create a little bit more of, you know, an army. That sounds like a decent idea, doesn't it? So let's make some ships over here. I think I'm going to start by Kagome Priest 3.0 because, you know, it will be a nice tank. Let's in fact make 2 of those and then just a bunch of Simics. I mean Lithics. How many of them can I hold in a single ship, by the way? Fleet, that is. I have 15 maximum, so for 2 sized ships that's 7. So I should have 2 tanks and 5 Lithics. So let's see. Those are 3 Lithics, so I need 2 more and this should be perfect. Good, I like this balance. Now as for you, there's 1 tank, 3 Lithics, so I need 1 more tank and 2 more Lithics, and this should be perfect yet again. I'm very content and pleased with myself because I'm this kind of a bastard, aren't I? Anyway. Oh, that's bad. I could see the Horatio converting in on Tram, and for some reason now it's only going to take me a single turn to capture it. Oh, that's because a turn has passed. Good job, brain, for realizing that this is the case. Wow, that I was really dumb there for a second. Whatever. Though to Know made yet another Lithic, and I still don't. Oh no, that's just the first Lithic they made. Why is Amnesia so slow in making those ships? It's really quite annoying, isn't it? Whatever, I want to be able to attack and destroy this pirate fleet, but right now I'm just unable to do so with just a single ship. That would be nigh impossible. And the enemy is besieging my Zenith, even though he cannot do so, he's still doing this just to annoy me and lower my food income because, you know, that does happen. Usually this will produce also a lot of unhappiness, but I'm the Harmony, I don't care. It was also lower my dust income, but yet again, I'm Harmony, I don't care. It does lower my science income for the system, but again, I'm just converting science to food at this point in time, so yet again, I don't really care now, do I? So yeah, that doesn't matter. However, the enemy is going to force me out of Tram, which is very annoying, especially since I will not be able to go back to it, because the enemy is, in fact, besieging and blockading Zenith, so I'll be forced to I'll be stuck on Zenith and just have to sit over there for all eternity. Also, that was very strange. For a second it looked like the enemy is actually capable of capturing Zenith, and now he's not anymore. Huh, strange, whatever. Anyway, one more turn and time will be mine. The enemy is, however, moving their invasion fleets in random directions, trying to kind of blockade me, and wow, there's a lot of invasion firepower above Jensen. Fortunately though, Jensen is very well protected, I think. Well, actually it's not all that well protected, but we can help it with that by using my community defense, adding it a whole lot of defense, which should provide me with a little bit of safety. There's a volcanic on Arrakis, still not being able to do much, so let's just make sure that it stays over there. And Isu is absolutely and perfectly clear, which makes me very happy. Okay, you just stay here, blockade the system. As for you, you continue going towards Pramas and Gatur, leave some ships behind as kind of scouts and path spawn blockaders, and see how it goes. If there is a clear route to Isu, then I'll very happily colonize it, but at this point in time, I'm clearly unable to do so. Also, parts are converging in on Phaeton. That's very bad because I was actually hoping to colonize it with this newly created volcanic, but now I'm not really unable to do so. Which is a little bit sad, isn't it? Oh well. In fact, you know what I could do? I could just send this Hakami Plays to Amnesia just to make my anti-pirate fleet ready on a little bit faster notice, because I really need it to be ready as fast and as soon as possible. Okay, who are you? Who are you, really? Just a random fleet blockading this area? Huh, that's very strange. I guess I could send them at the pirates, so let's do just that. I don't know what this fleet was doing here, but it doesn't really matter now, does it? As for this technique, it used to block the pirates from spawning, but now that I have the range over this area, it doesn't matter whatsoever. So let's just send it into Feia, so that I know if there is pirates or any other sorts of enemy and buddies in there or not. Alrighty then, I think I'm ready to end this stand, and in fact this will also be the end of my videocast, because it is long enough and I want it to be uploaded by tomorrow no matter what happens, so that's very important that it is not too long. So let's say my outro, just PANCZASU to the mighty mix spammer. If you somehow managed to enjoy my videocast, then by all means please do like it, maybe even subscribe to my channel. If you wish to see more of my content, please do leave a comment, because they help me out a lot and I do enjoy reading them. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you online. Also, just to show up, yeah, Horatio, they know what's coming. They know what's coming. It's the death that's coming. Okay, that's it for me. Bye!